G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today, it's pretty sad actually, I busted my Taranis radio. It fell off my chair and busted some of the buttons. So I'm going to show you how to open your Taranis radio up and repair some of the front things just here. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so I've got my Taranis here and I absolutely love this radio. I think it's fantastic. But you can see just here, these buttons are in the right place, but it fell off my chair when I was out flying. It blew over. So never rest your radio on your chair. There's a lesson learnt. And these buttons just here have been completely pressed in and disappeared. So in order to change the menus and things like that, I've got to stick in a little key or something like that down in here to change it. So let's open it up and fix it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do, flip it over and make sure you take the battery out, because this is extremely important. You don't want to be working on this radio with the battery in there. So alright, I've taken my battery out. Alright, and now I'm going to take out the screws that are in the back here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So we're going to take all those out and get back to it. So just using a Phillips head screwdriver. Alright, so I've taken my 6 screws out just here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they're all gone, and this is what most people don't know. If you try to pull your radio apart like this, you're going to break it. So there's a little trick we need to do, and it's up here on the buttons, or the sort of switches SG and SE, and we actually need to twist those. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them in the middle position. And then you can see these little slits just here. We actually, let me see if I can get that properly. We actually need to loosen these. These are sort of like 2 little lock nuts just here that we need to loosen in order to properly open our radio. So you might have some needle nose pliers or something else you can use. I don't really have anything thin enough, so I'm going to use this little screwdriver just here. Now this part is going to be a bit of a mission. So you just, oh there we go, that first one's loose. And now let's loosen up this one. Alright, so I've got both of these loose here. Alright, now to open up our radio, I suggest lying it flat and then pulling it from the top, sort of from this handle part here, opening it flat that way. Ta-da! Alrighty, and a good little tip too, I'm going to click these down now that we've unscrewed them, and that way you're not going to get them around the wrong way. So I know these are always facing towards the front of the radio, because these can come out quite easily. You don't want to get them around the wrong way. I'm going to take a photo of this so I know exactly how to put it back together if something goes wrong. So once everything's open, probably take a photo. That's definitely a good tip. So I'm going to do that and get back to it. And in here you can see there's a whole bunch of different things you can mess around with, so make sure you investigate properly before just fiddling with things willy-nilly. But here's our 2 stick controls, and if you need to change the tension of the springs, that can be done with this screw just here, or there's another one over on this side somewhere. Yeah, this one here just as well. The buttons I need to replace are actually under this sort of power board, this board just here, so I'm going to have to, with a Phillips head screwdriver, take out the 6 screws that hold this down. Maybe 5 screws, not sure. So you know, I'm not going to bother to disconnect any of this stuff. Make sure you're very careful this ribbon if you're replacing the buttons, because mine should be very simple. I can see the buttons right there on this side that need to be fixed. So I'm just going to spin this radio and then set about just laying them back up, because they just popped out. Alright, that was it. That was how easy it is to fix my radio. Alright, and I'm just going to put some tiny bits of hot glue on just here, and that's going to stop them slipping off if this has any shocks or anything like that in the future. Alright, so we're just going to put the little dollops of glue on here, and it might be a little hard to see, but it's a pretty cramped spot. It's even hard for me to see. Alright, and now I'm going to place my little board back over the top of this. Alright, and we'll screw it back together. Alright, and now I'm going to fold my radio back over. And the reason I always fold the back is because, well, to me, there's less here that can fall out than the front. So this is the part that I like to move. So we're just going to put this back on. It should slide on nicely. And I'm going to make sure that these little switches are in the right place, so they are both facing down. Oh, it's kind of awkward to do this with just one hand. Alright, that's going on nicely. And first things first, I'm going to screw these on. So re-screw these little sort of nuts here that are on your switches. And then I'm going to fix that up with the screwdriver again. And now I'm going to put my screws back in. And make sure you connect your battery back up, getting it around the polarity around the right way. This is actually the hardest part, I think, of this whole repair, is getting this battery back in here, because it is an extremely difficult fit. That's probably the easiest I've ever done it. Alright, so now the moment of truth. Let's turn it on and see how the buttons go.
Throttle warning,
yep.
Switch warning.
That's good. We'll flick these switches back off. It's good nothing's exploding here. So let's go in the menu, see if we can go up and down, which we can. And let's select our EPI model, select model. Alright, too easy. That's it. All fixed. Pretty simple. Alright, so that's it. It's all working. It's pretty simple. I hope that helps some of you out there. It can be a little bit daunting opening up your radio, but if you're careful and you know what you're doing, you can save yourself a lot of time instead of sending it away or something like that. Alright, for more FPV content, subscribe, and as always, happy flying.
Welcome to OpenTX.
It's alive.